So you want to upgrade your car. Perhaps you're moving on to a BMW, but you want to maximize the sell price of your current car. Well, don't worry, because we'll go over the best ways to achieve this while keeping costs to a minimum. Let's get into it. What's up everybody, my name is Fritz and welcome to the channel. For those of you who've been around for a while now, don't worry. The M235i is here to stay long term. And some good news on that front is that the parts that I ordered about 2 months ago have finally shipped and will be here shortly. So as soon as they arrive, I'm gonna film the installation, do the edits, and then that content will be out shortly. But the main reason why I wanted to make today's video is because this is a topic I've been asked about quite a bit. And that is, how do I sell my car for the most amount of money possible? The reason why we are experiencing quite a bit of a surge in the price of used cars is because of the chip shortage. As of right now, we are seeing about a 24% spike in price for used cars. And there are a lot of new cars out there that are just sitting waiting for their chips to come because of the labor market. We don't have enough people to unload the ships that currently hold the chips that are in waiting to be distributed. On top of that, we don't have enough truckers or trucks to distribute those chips as well. And if you want to take it one step further, the place where we typically get our chips from, Taiwan, is not making as many chips for us. So if you want to monitor their situation as well as the labor market situation, that's going to give you a good indication on whether or not you should still hold for that high price that you set for your car based off of the tips that we're going to go through today. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is go on Edmunds or Kelley Blue Book. And if you have a CarMax or even another dealership in your area, get your car appraised. This is going to be your baseline. No matter what, you should not get anything lower than this. The good thing about CarMax is that they give you a standing offer of 7 days. So hopefully if you can sell your car in 7 days, you know that you're not going to get anything less than this. You can set your price for your car a little bit higher than this. And then if anybody tries to negotiate you down, you have that space in between what CarMax is going to give you and what you set your price at. That right there should give you an indication of what you can expect to walk away with from your car. But also price your car competitively with similar cars that are on the market. Now, all the subsequent tips that we're going to go over revolve primarily around this next tip that we're going to cover. And it's probably the most important when it comes to selling your car for the highest amount of money. And that is not spending excessive amounts of money trying to repair or restore your current car. Now, it might be a good idea to do some preventative maintenance or routine maintenance if it's upcoming. Say for example, you've already scheduled something like an oil change or a coolant flush. Go ahead and do those things because this could hinder the performance of the car during a test drive. And this is something where I would say, unless the brakes are completely trash at this point, don't do that brake change because you are not going to get a good rate of return on that. If you're a DIYer, you have the brake pads already in your garage, you have the oil, you have the filters, you have all of that stuff, and it's not going to be able to service your new car, then I would say go ahead, put those parts on the car. You've already spent the money on it, you're not going to be able to return it, and on top of that, you can sell your car for a higher price because you've just done these services. But if you're somebody who has to take it to a shop, I wouldn't really recommend it. Simply sell a car as is and let the new owner take care of those things. Because remember, CarMax, Carvana, all those other places will take your car as is once they give you that offer. But there's actually one thing that I would say is okay for you to spend a little bit of money on because it will give you a good return on your money. It will help eliminate one point of negotiation on the buyer, and it will help you sell your car a whole lot faster. And that is getting a headlight restoration kit. These are relatively cheap, coming in anywhere from $20 to $40, so it's much cheaper than buying a new headlight unit. The new buyer isn't gonna be able to negotiate that, oh my goodness, these headlights, they're all messed up and it's gonna be a safety hazard. I have to spend like $100 or $200 to get them repaired. So by you spending at most $40, they're not gonna be able to bring down the price $100 to $200. So that's a net $60 or $160 for you. For all you know, they might know that they could restore them for $40, but if they can talk you down $100, $200, that's money in their pocket. So beat them to the punch and get those headlights done. And the way that it's going to help you sell your car faster is because it's going to be more aesthetically pleasing. When people are shopping for their cars, they typically gravitate towards cars that look good. And having a good pair of good looking headlights is going to attract people to your listing more than the other cars. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. Before we even think about taking pictures, we have to wash the car first. But don't stop at the exterior. We have to clean the interior as well. So go ahead and vacuum all of the interior that you can get to, especially those center areas in between the seats. And this is going to indicate to the potential buyer that you really paid attention to the detail with this car, that you took care of it. And then they're going to translate that into the services and the maintenance related to this car. It just sends a good message out there. If you present a messy car with a messy interior, they're going to continue down that pathway of thinking of how this car was treated, thereby reducing the amount of money that you could get because they're going to negotiate with you even harder. And for those of you with leather, as well as those plastic and vinyl trim pieces, make sure to wipe those areas down with their respective cleaners. That way it gives a good pop in the pictures. And then the last thing is popping in some air freshener, and you can do this in the form of the sprays or the vent clips. But we don't want anything too heavy of a scent here. Something simple like fresh linen or new car smell is going to be good enough. We just want to remove any potential odors that might have been trapped in the fabric, such as from transporting food, maybe something spilled along the way, but not too strong that it would deter a potential buyer. And now at this point, we are ready to take pictures of the car. If you want some more examples of what we're about to cover, just look at any car dealership website. Look at how they stage the car, how they angle their camera shots. That's exactly what you want to do for your car. So we're going to take a page out of their playbook and apply it to us selling our own cars on the private market. And now that the car is clean, we can move on to the last part of the video, which is taking dynamic pictures. And the big thing that we want to take note of here is that when we're taking pictures of our car for sale, we want to park it in an area where it's pretty much by itself. And then we also want to take note of the time of day in which we take our pictures. We don't want it to be like high noon, because then we're going to get a lot of glare in our pictures. And then the accents and the lines of the car are not really going to shine through when you take these pictures. But you also don't want to take it in the dead of night where it's too hard to see the car as well. So anywhere from sunset to just before noon, as well as towards the end of the day when there's still sunlight, is a really good time. And what we have right here in the shade is perfect as well. So the way that you want to take pictures is at an angle. And the way that we want to do this is from the four corners of the car, not necessarily the four sides. It's a really flat picture. But when you take pictures of the four corners, you can expect pictures like this. But to take it one step further for those pictures that are coming from the front, turn your wheel to the opposite direction from where you're from. This is really a 2-for-1 here, where we're going to be able to show off the curves of the car as well as the rims as well.
Let's also take a picture of our tires while they're in this position.
And then when we want to take a picture from the front of the car, we don't necessarily want to do it front and straight on. What we want to do is take it at a high angle like this. This is going to make the car seem a little bit more aggressive, especially if it has lines in the hood, as well as the fenders all coming to the center point of the car right here. And this is a good time for us to double up here and take a picture with the lights off as well as with the lights on, just to show that the headlights are fully functional. Now, when it comes to the rear, you want to actually take the opposite approach, where the dead center shot that we had earlier, we took it from the top. Typically the rear, you want to take it from a middle to a lower shot in order to emphasize the spoiler, as well as if you have a diffuser and the exhaust system as well. And we also want the wheels to be straight here because most BMWs have a staggered setup. So this is going to give it that aggressive stance where it's wider in the back and then tapers into the front. And we're also going to take that extra precaution of doing it with lights on and lights off. And depending on which platform you're posting on, you could also get a picture of the trunk, but it's not super critical. However, we do want to maximize the pictures that were allowed on each platform. Now here, depending on how your wheels reflect the light, you can either take a shot from the top as well as a shot from the bottom in the rear. And now the last set of pictures that we want to take are interior pictures. And as best we can, we want to answer whatever questions that might come up during the buying process with these pictures, such as, is there a check engine light that's on? Does it have heated seats? What's the current mileage on the car? Is it an automatic or a manual transmission? Is any of the interior falling apart? We want to answer these type of questions as much as possible with these pictures. And then if you've done any upgrades to the interior, such as putting in carbon fiber trims, but you also want to remember to remove any belongings that might be in the pockets of the door cards, any end performance parts. Take pictures of them and then highlight them in your listing. And just like that, we've maximized the selling potential of your car on the private market, all with minimal monetary input and a guaranteed minimal amount that you should never drop below, giving you a good indication of what you can expect to get for your car on the market, as well as what to monitor with this chip shortage that we're currently experiencing. But if you feel that there's another tip that I missed out in this video, please leave it down in the comment section below, as well as any questions that you might have. And if you need any of the resources that we went over in this video, it's gonna be in the links down in the description. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And I'll see all of you in the next one.